Let's walk the talk.
702.
I thought we should give some attention to Madlanga Commission that is currently underway. And you might have heard that Police Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence, Lieutenant-General Dumisani Khumalo, provided some very interesting insights yesterday into this sophisticated organized criminal syndicate. He labeled it as the Big Five. He said the cartel is so sophisticated and has already infiltrated the political arena. And he also testified, this was on day 8, obviously, of the commission that is probing alleged criminal infiltration of the criminal justice system, mentioning that this Big Five is headed by 5 key individuals who have amassed wealth, political connectivity, and monopolized public procurement processes. And so we have invited an expert to come and help us with this so that we dissect it with an element of sobriety, if you will. Dr. Chris de Kock, independent crime and violence analyst, is joining us right now on the line. Dr. de Kock, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to the listeners.
Maybe let's start with the basics, Dr. de Kock. How significant is the testimony we've heard from Lieutenant-General Khumalo about the so-called Big Five cartel?
Well, it's significant, and actually he's this morning he has started with the WhatsApp messages, and I think that will make it even more significant. And it's clear that we have a cartel here, and with everything that he said. The only thing that I'm worried about is that this may only be one of many cartels. And I wonder, this commission, if it will only focus on this one, the Big Five, or as proceedings continue, others will join the whole discussion. Because clearly there are many other syndicates, syndicates which form part of cartels, which is bigger organizations. It seems organized crime is rife, as was already indicated about 3 years ago with the report of the transnational crime, a report on transnational crime, the global initiative, or the global initiative report.
Yes. I'll get to that in a short while, and we'll deal with the meat. I thought first maybe let's just establish the ground and get from you, Dr. de Kock, about, the snail pace kick-off and commencement of his testimony yesterday. I say that, and I'm tempted to say boring, but it's extremely important because it gives us an insight into how the PKTT, the Political Killings Task Team, was structured. Its role and its significance, the accountability of the members of the team, his reportage responsibility as the supervisor, even though he was based in Pretoria and they were in KZN, and how then it comes to Gauteng. Say a little bit about that, because ordinary people like me perhaps may be bored by those details, but it gives us insight into the administrative integrity of what was set up and what it intended to do, albeit it was recalled.
Yeah, it gives us the history of the task team, and you must remember there's not only one task team there. I think at the beginning, General Mangwanazi referred to, and I'm not other task teams in the country. So this is a methodology which is followed, which actually prevent, if you have 1 or 2 investigators investigating, or 1 or 2 intelligence gatherers gathering information, they are very open to blackmail. They are very open to corruption. Organized crime have lots of money. We have seen even this other syndicate that was referred to yesterday around the Tembisa hospital. We're talking of billions of rand. So they've got lots of money to buy police officers at any level, rank level. So if you follow the task team, there's checks and balances, because there's now a lot of people involved in the task team. They are all worried about their safety, and it will be difficult to buy a whole task team. So I think this approach is actually working quite well. And what was also revealing to me, sometimes we get a little bit negative and we say, no, crime intelligence is not working at all, and the whole thing is broken. But actually what is coming to the fourth year, at least, and there's other indicators as well, is crime intelligence is not as broken as we think. There's still a lot of people there that do their work. And if they can just be allowed more to do their work, and if corruption can be at a lower level, organized crime is going to feel the heat.
Lieutenant-General Khumalo also mentioned Mr. de Kock, and he described the syndicates as highly sophisticated, and he also says that they were operating almost like a business enterprise of sorts. You've been a policeman, you've been a member of SAPS. Do we have any known cartels operating in South Africa that the cops are looking into now? And is the modus operandi more or less the same?
Look, I can't tell you if there's any other specific cartels. We know there's quite a few other task teams, and we have seen yesterday another breakthrough, not maybe from the police side, but from the NPA, the special task team on this Tembisa business. But we can assume in basically all sectors of our economy, these cartels are busy operating. Now, you have referred to that it's also, or he referred to the fact that it's like also a very business-like cartel, this Big Five. We must remember that all syndicates, all organized crime groups, I would actually like to use that word, organized crime groups, operate very close to like a real business. Actually, it's a mix of real, legitimate business on the one hand, and on the other hand, criminal activity. The two mesh very, very, very tightly. That's how organized crime, that's one of the characteristics of organized crime. Another characteristic is corruption. They must corrupt at all levels because that's how they can operate. And especially if they are close to tenders, because now they must get tenders, and then you have to be very close to powerful figures.
Are we looking at the Malanga?
That is characteristics of all organized crime.
Yeah, thanks for that. Dr. Chris de Kock is my guest. He's independent crime and violence analyst. We're looking at the Madlanga Commission, how it heard of criminal cartels infiltrating the political arena. It's underway right now, where Lieutenant-General Dumisani Khumalo is also providing some information and testimony therein. But Dr. de Kock, what are some of the weaknesses in the crime intelligence and subs that cartels exploit, or organized groupings, as you prefer to call them? What is the weaknesses of subs in this instance, and the intelligence, to be specific? Is it because when the handover was done, perhaps there was no coercion and we are still suffering from those legacy handover issues? Or have we inherited a sophisticated system that is now getting itself into the police, and there's a cross-pollination between the criminals and the police? What is that weakness, and how can it be sorted out within our authorities?
Okay, I think let me start by saying that in South Africa, unfortunately, materialism have become very important. If I can have 3 cars of a certain make, I have much more status than other people. And unfortunately, police officers are also, that same problem of materialism, comparing yourself with your neighbor, your friends, whatever. is also there. And also there's a lack of patriotism, a lack of love for South Africa and for the people of South Africa. Because what we should have is patriotism where people work for their people. Now, unfortunately, that there's a lack of that. Are you still with me?
I am right here listening carefully.
Okay. So those are two factors that play a role in the growth of organized crime and the infiltration of organized crime into the police, into the crime intelligence division, and so forth. Unfortunately, there are police officers who have joined the South African Police Service who haven't joined to serve the country or to serve the people of the country. They've joined to become rich. I mean, you have all heard of police officers who buy their employment. They pay a bribe to be a police officer. And then, unfortunately, I think the police is a stepping stone or an organization where they can get rich by listening and by doing things that this corrupt people and the syndicates want to do. So that is one of that I think is the biggest weakness in crime intelligence. But then there's also another factor. After 2011-12, plus minus at that date, before that, between 2003 and 2012, this country has experienced very strong decreases in murder, for example, carjacking, CITs virtually disappeared just before the World Cup. And then after 2012, it started to skyrocket again. All of these crimes, which can be linked to organized crime, like carjacking, like CITs, like murder, all of those things skyrocketed from 2012 to present. And one of the reasons was that crime intelligence were weakened. There were factionalism within crime intelligence, different factions serving different people, and politicized. Now, those are all factors that are weakening. But as I've said, I think sometimes we think the whole thing is so broken that we can't address organized crime at all.
Yes.
But here, clearly, with the testimony of General Khumalo, who is the head of crime intelligence, suspended head, he indicates to me that we have a lot of intelligence and there are still a lot of people who do very hard work.
Yes. And we'll come back to touch on some of those. 22 minutes after 10 o'clock, you're on 702. Feel free to participate on the conversation. Simply send your voice notes to 072-702-1702 or call us on 011-883-0702.
The Clement Manyathela Show on 702. Live from the Ekurhuleni Tourism Stakeholder Engagement Sessions at the Alberton Civic Centre.
Thanks very much, and thank you for joining us here on 702. Feel free to keep those text messages coming through on 072-702-1702, or you could just simply call us on 011-883-0702. My guest, Dr. Chris de Kock, independent crime and violence analyst. We are just looking at the Madlanga Commission, some of the implications, some of the evidence. We do know that Lieutenant-General Dumisani Khumalo is on the stand right now. Well, not on the stand. They don't like that word at the commission when you say someone is on the stand, but he's busy giving testimony currently about some of the things that are happening. And he's looking at WhatsApp messages that he said would have to do with senior police officials, Matlala, and other businessmen. And apparently these WhatsApp messages will also point at some officials in very high offices. We can't wait to learn more about that. As I said, Dr. Chris de Kock is my guest. 011-883-0702. Dr. de Kock, I was just concerned about the WhatsApp messages that are coming through now. He did also mention that some evidence will also be given on camera, meaning away from the public's eye. And he mentioned that the reasons for that would be because the other investigations are still underway, but they don't also want to expose their MO to criminals, or criminals would be, about how they conduct themselves. How critical would that connection be between the WhatsApp messages that are sent between the suspected businessmen and the politicians? Would that give us a very clear indication once and for all that this is pointing directly to officials who have participated in an untoward way?
Yeah, I think the evidence that will be given in camera will be evidence much more than what we see now. I mean, what we see now is analysis of WhatsApps between various people, and it reveals something. But I think the final straw will be what was gathered, intelligence which was gathered in other ways than just WhatsApp, the analysis of WhatsApp telecommunication. Hello?
And Dr. de Kock, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can. Hello?
No,
if
you okay. So, what are the implications to his department, given that it's so factionalized? We have already established in the past few days of the commission that on one end you have three key individuals. Obviously, you have General Mkhonazi, who was there. You have the Commissioner Fani Masemola, and clearly you have now General Dumisani Khumalo also. What does it say about the factionalized nature of the policing, and can that ever be sorted out? Because it looks like we are in it for a very long haul.
No, I think it can be sorted out. I think the emphasis must be to appoint people who want to police the country, who want to be in the police for exactly to fight crime. A person like General Mangwanazi, who is an excellent crime fighter. And if we have people like that, and I believe there are many more already there, and we get rid of people who are there to serve either their own aims, their own to get rich, and also to serve other people outside, politicians and criminals outside of the police, we don't need those people there. It would be a good thing to try and get rid of them. Maybe this is the start of all of that.
Sure. Thanks very much for your time, Dr. Chris de Kock. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll chat again in the near future. Dr. Chris de Kock, independent crime and violence analyst.